independence movement, I suppose. You can't blame them. Formerly oppressed colonial powers, I suppose. Colonies, colonial powers, colonies. But you play a campaign, you have the Battle of Starling and the Battle of Falkirk. But you wouldn't actually fight a battle, it would just be another regular campaign, where you would, say, conquer a few cities like you do here. In fact, it wasn't even that, the Battle of Stirling, I seem to recall. It was just a case of destroying the rotten English camp. Which, you know, I was quite disappointed when I first played this. Well, maybe not, I was only about 10 years old, so I wasn't in a position to formulate an particularly articulate complaint, but disappointment. So I didn't. But it was like, you told me I was going to play the Battle of Stirling, the Battle of Falkirk, and I'm just sort of conquering a city. But the games of Empire, the campaigns of Empire Earth actually ended with a famous battle. The Battle of Hastings. You actually had the one with the Battle of Hastings. You actually fought the Battle of Hastings. They lined up the troops, and you lined up your troops, and you actually had a battle. Same for the one in the Greek campaign during the Peloponnesian Wars. That was something similar. That was good. So yeah, and the Battle of Waterloo. There was actually something akin to the Battle of Waterloo. I pretty much got to a point where you had a certain number of troops, you couldn't build any more, and you had to direct them so that you just hurry up and get to the battle, to get within range. I'm running out of things to talk about here. Yeah, you had a certain number of troops. They had a certain number of troops. I played them recently. The troop limits were really quite small during the campaigns. Perhaps about 80 troops. And then at the end of it, you would sort of finish the battle, and then you would carry on with the quest, which was something like a campaign quest, like destroy the enemy's capital, something like that. But during the campaign, you actually fought a proper historical battle, and that was what I really liked about the Empire Earth campaign. Also, it's pretty ambitious having 15 epochs. I mean, this game has 8, but 15, and they managed to pull it off. They played right through to the Nano Age, so to call it. In fact, no, in the expansion pack they went through to Space Age in a whole campaign where you went to Mars. And then the Martians invaded Earth to get their independence. So I guess it was a bit limited because it didn't have the Americans, and this game didn't have the Americans until the expansion pack. And then Empire Earth 2 wasn't too bad, wasn't the idea of territories, but not in so dynamic a sense as territories are done here. And they mixed up the capitals of the states themselves, so you'd end up with I don't know, Bismarck being the capital of Maine if you're playing with the Americans. Incidentally, if you're wondering why I picked Maine of all states, it's because as a geek that I am, I'm following the American election cycle, and isn't Maine turning out to be quite an interesting primary? And since it's not actually happened yet as I'm recording this, but might the final sort of since there's a bit of a hoo-ha as to whether Mitt Romney actually won the primaries or not, it may have all been sorted by the time this actually gets published and put up on here. So I'll comment on it both, and you could delete it as appropriate. Say, well, who'd have thought that Mitt Romney campaign would have a second state to actually go against them once the official results were announced, or I knew the Mitt Romney campaign, and really wouldn't name the Ron Paul campaign. We're just complaining for no real reason. So delete those other two as appropriate. That sort of thing. Some topical American politics for the next 5 seconds of gameplay. Oh, crikey, I won the battle. That was unexpected. Sort of just chattering away merrily and about nothing in particular. Still, we managed to keep the dead air down to a minute. So, review of the game. How did the battle? And this battle, we couldn't actually go back in the game. You can usually view playbacks of these kind of games if you were playing a standard skirmish, which I may do at some point because it can be quite fun, especially if you have 8 different players. It all gets really chaotic because they're all doing different things. So many people attacking so many people. 8 players on a free-for-all kind of thing. It's mental. So let's have a look at the map. So I was a bit put out by the early attack. Fortunately I put a couple of towers in Rome. Almost lost Bonbon, which I think would have been a huge blow. I was impressed with how quickly I managed to grow my economy. I managed to have 4 cities all the way up to here by about 15-16 minutes in game minutes into the game. Built that over there, and then it was just a simple case of pushing forward, pushing, until they had no land left. And look at all those troops just wasted. I was held back by a lack of bombards. And perhaps I should have pushed forward harder and faster. What I find in the game is I'm too cautious once I've actually got the materials ready to sort of the economy set up. I don't then spend it all on resources to just crush the enemy with force. I try to play tactically and keep as many troops as possible. So, when I look at the achievements, I get a nice military score like this. Units lost 27, units killed 212. That's better than the English at Ashen Corps, where if you were to follow the Age of Empires 2, it was a Joan of Arc campaign. So we were playing as the French against the English again. Think about the English, these you can blame them. That's better than 61 of the Battle of Agincourt, which of course is sort of a degree of national mythology about it. St. Crispin's Day, 25th of October. Of course nobody knows that but Salak's like me, but and how did they lose 7 more units and I managed to kill them? Who killed them? And then lost 8 buildings, so I was very careful. So I think I might just be a bit too careful in how I conduct my battles. I should just sort of build another supply centre right next to the front. Like, once I've built this here, should have turned it into a military camp, 2 stables, 2 camp, 2 barracks, 2 supply, 2 siege workshops, and just told them to spew out units, send them over here, and just force them all out, take these cities as quickly as possible. And I probably could have shaved off 10 minutes of yours and my life as a result of that. Various uncollected rare resources. Rare resources are very efficient because if you look at that, particularly towards the end of the game, they're far more efficient than citizens. Citizens that are mining in that city because I'm not that certain. See, it's various little inefficiencies like that that I seem to let slip. Oh, I have got a merchant there. But whereas citizens only collect 1 resource plus 30 food there, merchants always collect 2 at the same time, so at least twice as efficient. Plus they give you an item bonus. So if you have a load of merchants, you can generally cut back on about a third of your citizens, which means you've got more of your pop cap to spend on military units, so you can end up with a larger military than the opponent. I also let that get too efficient. That's 82% and 82%. So I could have killed some units of my own citizenry to make way for some extra units. And all in all, I'm quite impressed with how easy that was, considering there's a capital province. And we'll see what we achieve on the strategic level when we exit this map. Oh, 29 tribute, that's not much. About the supply centre, I'm going to place it in the Balkans because I fully intend at some point to attack the Germans, or if the Germans are vanquished, to move on to. See, this loses a lot of its historical relevancy after a while. The Incas, moving through Italy into the Balkans, might attack the Germans during the 15th century. Really? So I might attack the Germans, or they might get conquered before that, in which case I will attack the person who conquered them and get their lands by means fair and foul. French haven't done much. Oh wait, there we go. They've so what happened this term? I'll read them out because I realised that it's not, the text isn't very clear because I'm quite cheap with the resolution because of the hard drive space. So it says Copernicus of the Inca eliminated Pericles of the Greeks. Good. The Persians captured the Urals from the Russians. Ooh, yeah. The Persians are huge. The Koreans captured China from the Persians. Good old Koreans. The French captured the Alps from the Germans. William of Orange of the Dutch overran, willing to conquer the British at Carolia. So the British are out of the game. The British have been conquered by the Dutch, which is just like, actually there's a certain historical, anyone who knows the Glorious Revolution of 1688 can find a sort of sense of irony in that. Of course, William of Orange. Orange is how it's pronounced because it's actually it's a French county. It's a county in southern France. Orange is. So it's not William of Orange. It's William of Orange. I don't believe William III is William of Orange, is it? No, it is, because William I is William the Silent of the Netherlands. That is, they're sort of the founding, the first, leader of the independent Netherlands is William the Silent. What you refer to the William that managed to essentially conquer the British for a generation anyway, by marrying Mary. I believe that was William of Orange, or William of Orange. And the also other ancestral land is Nassau, the Maurice of Nassau, who took over from Oldenbarnevelt, who took over from William the Silent once he got assassinated by Balthazar Gerard. And that to this nay level. I know it's quite a bit about the Dutch revolt. So the Dutch have taken over the British. There's also a sense of historical irony because, of course, from the 18th century onwards, the British managed to supersede the Dutch, where they had once been, during the 17th century, commercial rivals, and Amsterdam had been a bigger financial market than London. By the time we got to the 18th century, positions had been reversed, and the Dutch never quite recovered that position. I think they were bankrupted by fighting the War of Spanish Succession and the 10 Years' War before that. It's 10 Years' War, 9 Years' War, or some other war, depending on which nationality you are. Anyway, back to the game. The Dutch captured the British Isles from the British, the Turks captured Central Africa from the Bantu, and then lost it? I don't know. The Lakota captured Mexico from the Aztecs, that's what I was waiting for. I wasn't invited to defend the place. I'm trying to think of rather a shame. And the Bantu captured Central Africa from the Turks, which is what we could have inferred. Okay, so I don't have to spend my sabotage point on taking the Aztecs out, but then again I don't particularly want to take that territory because it's useless. Who wants it? It's just a size 1 with nothing going for it. If I wanted to take out the Lakota, I'd have to attack there, then I'd have to attack there, then I'd have to attack there. I'd far rather going from the other way. So the possibility is now attack the Germans, and then attack the Dutch, then attack the French, then attack the Spanish for the sake of completeness, and that would grant me most of Europe. Or I could attack the Turks, and then attack the Bantu, which would give me the entirety of Africa, and it would close off this. I'd have one long barrier, sort of along here. I'd have this bit to defend, which is actually not a very long border, considering. Oh, and this little bit here, which is defended. Anyway, that I'll make up a decision. I'll probably sleep on it, and then do some, some real work. Since this isn't, this isn't a job, which is a pity. Maybe it could be. I heard you can monetize your accounts and make a bit of money for YouTube videos. Maybe I could turn this into a full-time potential career. It just seems a bit playing games for a living. And surely wouldn't the game makers object to me making money off of their graft and labour? I just realise there's no real point in attacking the Germans now because they've got nothing to offer. So I'd work my way through the Alps and then into Holland, perhaps. Anyway, as I say, I'll think about it and then I'll come up with a decision when I realise what it is. Or I don't know, I might democratise this entire process. If you have an idea what to attack, 3 options are to attack Germany and then attack the Netherlands, then attack France, and sort of take the European path, or I attack the Ottomans and then I attack the Bantu. This can be the eastern path, or, and I thoroughly don't recommend this one, we could attack Lakota there, Lakota there, Lakota there, and then attack there and go for the Iroquois and attack North America that way. But that would take a long time, and there's only a certain number of turns in this game. You notice we've already reached the medieval age. We've got until the information age, people, and there's 3 turns per age. So there's 1 turn, there's 4 turns of Gunpowder Age, 7 turns Enlightenment Age, 10 turns, I couldn't do this in my head, but I'm not going to, 10 turns Enlightenment Industrial Age, till the end of the Industrial Age, 13 till the sort of. You have 16 turns because you get an extra 3 turns, which would be the end of the 11th turn. But there's only 16 potential attacks we can make, so we can't be wasting them going through this wasteland here. So if you've got to this stage and you've got a brilliant idea as to an attack plan, I'd love to hear it. But my 3 preferred options here, 3 options either to attack Europe. My preferred option would be to go through the Middle East. I guess we attack the Middle East and then go up into Russia as opposed to down to the Bantu. We'll call that Plan 2B. Plan 2A is of course attack there and then Plan 2. And then Plan 3 if you really want to know. Or Plan 2C to attack the Ottomans and then the Persians. Would net us a huge area of Asia. And Plan 3, I swear if you guys pick this I'm going to fall out with you. I will do it if you pick it, but I won't be happy, is to attack through there, attack the Lakota one by one. So there's a wide range of options, all of them quite profitable, apart from the Lakota option 3. All vote now, and I will see you again next time. Bye folks.